everybody who is going to be joining on the replay. We're going to wait and see who's going to hop on here as usual. And I am, whoops, going to plug my mic in here. Hold on. All right, very excited to get into these energies today. We're going to be talking about Leo season, moving through all of the major astrological energies that we are going to be experiencing, as well as getting into the Lionsgate portal a little bit, which opens actually on the 26th of July and goes through August 8th, and actually beyond that with the Mercury retrograde. And we're going to get into the details of all of that, why that is, as we move forward here. See who's going to hop on. And I will let you know, for everybody who is going to be catching the replay, that I'm going to do my best to timestamp at least where we start really getting into the energies, just in case people don't want to go through the beginning of the video where we're welcoming everybody and everybody's hopping on. Sometimes there's a little bit of a prelude before we really dive into the information here. So I will timestamp when it is that we really get going through all of these dates and energies. We may not have time to pull any cards today because there is a lot of action going on this Leo season, which begins on the 22nd, which is today, I do believe. I'm not so good with my current dates. I think today is the 22nd as we're filming this. It's going to go all the way through September 22nd. So big energies. I honestly was like, my mind was blown as I was charting this out for you guys this morning and moving through all of these energies. And we will have some videos on the individual energies, the really intense, powerful ones. There will be additional videos on. So this is just giving a general overview of the energies that we are going to be experiencing. And I want to also give a very warm welcome to everybody who is new joining here. I know that we have a lot of new subscribers, a lot of people tuned into that full moon in Capricorn video. That is such a powerful energy that we are continuing to work with, like we said, as we move through November. And I did put out a video, some of you caught it, and also an edit on that video about the dates, because I was misreading the dates. Afterwards, though, I thought about it, and there is something significant within the energies of January. I did a little peek right before I hopped on this live stream, and I was looking at January 22nd. I think that was one of the dates that I might have mentioned. Anyway, Pluto is going to be conjunct the sun around that time. So I found that fascinating. But there's definitely, like, nothing is ever a mistake. And that was a really, like, fascinating mistake to make. I think I might have actually been looking at the wrong year on my ephemeris. I don't know what was going on. But nothing, like we said, nothing happens by accident. So there is some sort of relevance with January where these energies are concerned. And I know that it was in January of 2020 that we had that massive conjunction, that great conjunction of Saturn and Pluto at 22 degrees of Capricorn that I mentioned. So I don't know if it was just another throwback to that energy, or if we're just going to be actually really feeling these energies through January. Who knows? Either way, if you guys wanted the exact dates on that, I did post a different video updating that. We are going to have Pluto stationing direct around the 1010 portal. It's actually on the 11th. But Pluto begins to slow down. Pluto moves very slowly to begin with. And so he really slows down when he's getting ready to station turn around the earth. So it's going to be right around that 1010 energy, but then he will be back in Aquarius by November 19th, I believe it was. And you can check out all those dates. Like I said, hello, Soul What? Welcome, beautiful. It's so great to have you here. Anybody who is on, get in the chat and say hello, introduce yourselves. I love connecting with everybody's energy on here. Any of my OG tribe members, welcome all of our beautiful, all these beautiful souls who have recently joined us. I'm just so excited to have everybody here as we continue to navigate these wild waters of ascension and move through this powerful period on this planet. This is, I mean, the energies have been building up towards this time period that we're in right now. This is massive when we're talking about the timeline jump. That is really the entirety of the year 2024. It is a leap year, and we are quite literally making quantum leaps in consciousness and leaping through timelines. So there's going to be a powerful anchoring in of these 5D timelines as we move through the Lionsgate. And I'm going to, of course, channel more information on the Lionsgate specifically. What did come through previously was that we are going to be receiving, like, one way that I put it was to say walk-ins from our higher selves. I also want to say this as like downloading more of our higher selves energy into our vessels. So it's going to be very, very powerful. Hello, Annika. Hello, Cookies Mama. Hello, Mandy. Oh, Cookies Mama, it's been a while since I've seen you on here. We've missed you. And people, let me know as well. I have my mic plugged in right now. So I got quite a few comments on the full moon in Capricorn video about my voice being too loud in the recording and sort of complaining about my mic. So I'm curious to know how the sound sounds to all of you who are on the live stream right now. And just in general, as you've watched my videos, like, has that been something that has bothered you? I mean, I know that I project anyway. And so with a mic, especially this close, it's going to be louder. And so when I watch my own videos, like, I turn down the sound. That seems like a pretty realistic, like, solution to that. But I want to know, because if there is a technical issue that needs to be addressed, I do want to address that for you. I think there were quite a few people who said they felt like I was yelling at them. And I'm not going to do anything to address that. That is simply my energy. I have a lot of passion and intensity, and the people that are meant to connect with that will resonate and connect with that, right? We have to walk that fine line where we don't want to change ourselves too much to accommodate other people, because we'll always be having to change something once we get that ball rolling, right? But we do at the same time want the viewing experience to be a pleasant one for the majority of people tuning in. All right. Yeah. So it sounds like the volume and the mic sounds good to most people. All right. So I'm not going to worry about it then. Addressing that is going to require getting a whole bunch of tech equipment that I can do and I will do at some point in the future. For right now, I'm really enjoying using my iPhone and just being able to plug the little mic in. So we're going to roll with it then. Oh, yes. Well, Soul, what? We're so happy to have you join us in whatever capacity you are able right now. Just know that you are tapping in on an energetic level. We all create a beautiful vibrational frequency when we come together in this space. And I always set a sacred space, a sacred container for everybody. And so just know that. And if at any point there is any interference in the chat, just ignore those energies. Like, we don't consent to trolling. We do not consent to any low vibrational behavior. People sometimes try to come in and bring that energy, but it's not welcome here. We're not going to stand for it, and we're honestly not even going to acknowledge it, because it is beneath us. That is not the frequency that we're vibrating at. That is not the energy that we are calling in. And that is definitely not the energy that we are going to be speaking about today. Hello, Carl. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. You know, it is what it is. It's actually so funny how many times in my life I've been asked to tone it down in certain regards, which essentially means toning down myself, toning down my voice, toning down who I am, right? And that is really the opposite of everything that I stand for and everything that I think we're meant to be embracing as a collective. We all have our unique energy. We all have our unique way of connecting with people, of delivering the messages that are meant to be delivered, and it's going to connect with who it's going to connect with, and it's not going to that's why it's so important to be our true and authentic selves, because that's when we draw in our soul tribe. That's when we draw in the people that do resonate on the like frequency. And there's such a beautiful tribe of people here. You know, I say in a lot of the videos, like, if you like the vibe, join the tribe. If you don't like the vibe, like go somewhere else. And I wish you the best. You know, this may not be the place for you. But yeah, so anybody who is bothered by the volume but really does enjoy the messages, I love you. I love, honor, and respect everybody. And I love you and honor you too. So we're just going to say turn down the volume a little bit. Oh, Joni, it's great to see you, beautiful. It's so great to see you. You guys, these energies are insane that we are working with this month. I guess we'll begin at the beginning, right? With today, which is, I'm not mistaken, you guys, right? I know, because the full moon was the 21st, and that was yesterday, and it's linear time, right? And so it is the 22nd today, correct? We are calling in that beautiful Leo season energy. the sun is entering Leo in an opposition to Pluto. So we have those beautiful Plutonic vibes and energies really activating the sun, activating our heart space. Because Leo, remember, is all about the heart space. Leo is just all about love. You know, Leo wants to exude that love. Leo wants to be that love. And Leo, yes, wants to receive that love. And so as we move through Leo season, it is all about embracing our charisma. It is all about being seen, being heard, like the lion, right? The roar of the lion. It's about taking center stage in our own lives. It's about all of those beautiful fifth house energies of creativity. Yes, dating and children, our inner child especially, embracing that inner child, being playful. I'm pretty sure we said creative, right? Working with those energies. I call the fifth house the house of everything that makes life worth living. It really is just so beautiful and so fun. It's a perfect energy in the Northern Hemisphere to really be embracing the summertime and working with the ways that we can bring more play, bring more joy into our daily lives. And yes, more self-expression. Leo energy is all about self-expression. And it rules. When I think of Leo energy, I think of that big heart energy. And as we move through all of the different astrological alignments, moving towards the Lionsgate portal on August 8th. This is an 8-year in numerology, which makes it the 888 portal when we have the portal day that matches up with the year. Because we have portals all the time. For those, I know there are a lot of people who are new. And once again, I want to welcome you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you here. There's tons of different portals, and we look at them through all different lenses. The planets, when they come together, their energies create portals, which is essentially when more energy is able to stream in. We are more receptive. We are more open. The veil is thinner, so to speak, and we're able to connect in with different dimensions. We're always able to, but we can do it with more ease, and we can tap into more of our own multidimensional nature. Some of these portals do also occur when we have the repeating and synchronistic numbers and dates as well. So the 888 is the big portal of the year, being the 8-year, as we said. And it is just magnificent. I think a lot of us, we've been aligning more and more powerfully with our higher selves, with that 560 timeline. As we've been moving through 2024, that's what this year is all about. It's all about aligning us with our most powerful timeline for ascension. And I know I've been tapping into that. I just wrote an email today for my email subscribers. And if you guys want to join the email list, there are 2 ways to do that. You can click on the free meditation, or you can just click on the email, join the email list link. Either way, I'm pretty sure now you get the free meditation, whether you specifically ask for it or not. But yeah, I send channeled messages, sort of any musings that come through. I send reports on the astrological energies as well. And I was talking about the experience I had on Sunday. So in that full moon energy, where I was really able multiple times to really fully tap into that 5D frequency, because it's a frequency, it's a consciousness, it's a vibration that is available to us all the time. We tap in with our hearts, and that's what makes August and this Lionsgate portal so powerful every year, but especially this year because it's opening up that heart chakra. We say on here all the time that the heart is the portal to the 5th dimension. So when we unlock that heart energy, we're able to vibrate in that frequency, in that state of being. And everything looks different when you start tapping into that frequency. It was like I could see the wind moving through the trees, and the leaves looked like diamonds, like they had this beautiful glittering, shimmering quality to them. I have a tree in my yard, and it likes to wave at me. So the leaves do like very specific motions to say hello to me. I first saw this. It was a beautiful synchronicity when I received my aura and my raw Reiki entity removal trainings in Arkansas. It was the entire tree. All the leaves started going and they were waving at us. It was really beautiful. And I've seen it many times since. And the tree in my yard is just like the tree that we've seen there. And it really likes to get my attention. And the way the leaves start moving in this very deliberate sort of like waving motion, like it's saying hello to me. So I was just watching all of this, feeling the wind on my face. And it was just this this feeling of bliss that washed over me. And I was able to tap back into that feeling multiple times. Even when I was driving my car on my way to work that night, I was in that frequency and I felt like a lion almost. Like it was, I can't even fully describe it, but it was just this beautiful, beautiful state of being. And it's like, we're going to be able to tap into that more and more. And in the email that I sent people, I said that this is the most powerful way of manifesting, actually, because we're aligned in that vibration. And so we are drawing towards us everything that is meant for us in these higher timelines. It's so simple and so beautiful. And it just requires getting out of the head, being fully present in the moment, and just surrendering and to opening and allowing that heart chakra to open and unlock. And then we're there. We're there, and it's so beautiful. And we can start to notice the magical creatures all around us. We can start to recognize the dragonflies. I said just dragons for a reason, right? The dragonflies, the butterflies, all of these beautiful, majestic creatures. Like they're all hidden in plain sight. They're all right in front of us. The entire fifth dimension is right there. The third, fourth, and fifth dimension are all existing in this plane simultaneously right now. It's just, where is your focus? Where is your energy? And many of us, especially the people who find this channel and resonate with this channel, we are primarily existing within the fourth dimension right now, because we are the bridge that connects the third dimension and the fifth, sixth dimension, right? Because we were a fifth dimensional planet before the fall, right? Before the fall of Atlantis, before the inversion of our reality and the descending to the third dimension, right? So we are not only returning to our fifth dimensional beingness, but we are ascending to the next level that we were attempting to ascend to during the time of Atlantis. And if you guys want more information on that, check out the AI inverted matrix and how we ascend out. It's in the live video playlist. I go over these energies and explain a lot of this stuff, especially for the people who are new. We get pretty deep on here with some things, all right? So buckle up. But yeah, we are the bridges, right? We are the connectors. We stand in that and exist in that fourth dimensional energy. And we help people cross. The people who are ready, we assist them in bridging their energies. This is a very powerful mission, and it's not always easy because we're existing in multiple dimensions, multiple timelines at the same time. But we can do it, right? That's why we came here, because we knew that we could. And we are doing it every single day. I want to take a moment to say hello to everybody again. We have Nicole on here. Welcome, Nicole. We're so happy to have you. Let's give Nicole a warm welcome, everybody. Untrapped butterfly. I love that too. Oh, welcome. Speaking of butterflies and dragonflies and all of the magical creatures, right? Welcome, Michael. You've seen the shimmer on the plants. I know and on the water, when the sun reflects on the water, sometimes the whole surface looks like diamonds. It's so incredibly beautiful. It's like nature. When we're out in nature, okay. Am I connected again? That's so weird. It doesn't usually do this. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Yes, this is such an incredible tribe. I love you guys so much. All right. Let's see. Let's look at the time. I'm going to timestamp this as the beginning probably of getting into these energies for the, your UFO has no Wi-Fi. We just connect telepathically at that point, right? We're all connected on a heart level. We're all connected in the higher realms. So we don't have to worry. If we lose connection, we're still good, right? All right. So the sun entering Leo on today, the 22nd, in that opposition to Pluto, receiving that activation, that beautiful heart opening, Pluto beginning this transformation, this rebirthing process that we are going to be experiencing as we move through the Lion's Gate portal. And I did pull a few cards while I was waiting to come on here. And so the 11th house community came out with the Imum Coli, the roots, 4th house energy there. And Pluto, rebirth. And Pluto, the 27, which I thought was funny because that was the degree that I mistakenly told everyone Pluto was going back to. So I was like, there's something with that. And that's when I looked up what was going on in January, because I had said that too, just to sort of see. And I saw the sun conjunct Pluto energy in January. around the 22nd. So I don't know, there's something with that 27 degree point and that energy of the 27. And we are going to be looking at that. I only mentioned it briefly in here. I know I mentioned it briefly in the full moon video, and somebody asked me about the energies of Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune all connecting. So that's going to be happening in the fall, and there's going to be a separate video on that, but it's going to be around 9/11 actually. And well, the beginning of September, 9/1. So we got that 9/11 energy, right? That we are going to have a really supportive, and there's a couple different names for this configuration. Molly McCord calls it a minor grand trine. I call it a mystic triangle, but whatever you want to call this, we have 2 sextiles and a trine connecting these 3 collective planets, right? The 3 giants when it comes to the collective energies. And they're going to be all around this 29 to 27 degree point. I actually am counting this energy as continuing to where we have Uranus return to 26 degrees, where Uranus had that massive conjunction with Mars, conjunct the star Algol. And if you guys, anybody who's new here, if you haven't watched that video, that was the last live stream we did, check that out because that was a huge energy. And I feel that energy being pulled back in and harmonized with this connection of these outer planets. So this is an opportunity for us to really transform the collective energies and align the collective with this new Earth 5D timeline, 560 timeline. And we're going to get into that more. But why did I mention that? Oh, because of the 27, the significance of the 27 degrees here. I thought it was really funny that that was the degree of the Pluto card. A little tangent there. So, but this is all about rebirth, right? So there's going to be a rebirthing, a regeneration when it comes to our community, when it comes to our connections, our friendships, and when it comes to our home and our family, these deeply personal aspects of our lives and our connections with others are going to be transformed. So everything really. And so I see this, and this makes sense, right? And I've been called to do a separate video on this, talking about this for people, because I know that there's a lot of us who have been noticing people falling out of our lives. And the reason for this is simply that they are not on the same timeline that we are at this time. They are not at the same frequency. And it gets to a point where they can't even recognize us anymore. It's like they still love us and they may even want to reach out to us, but they simply don't because we are not within their consciousness, because they can't connect to us anymore because of the disconnect in frequency. And that's all it is. It's not because we're bad friends. It's not because they're bad friends or bad people. It's not any of that. It's just that we are not aligned. We're not traveling on the same trajectory at this time. And there are times when perhaps our frequencies become more aligned where we might actually connect with them and reach out to them. And then when each of us shifts, because remember, we're constantly shifting through timelines, that disconnect happens again. Like we get to a place with our frequency where people who are on a different bandwidth almost cannot even perceive of us anymore. It's really wild. And eventually that's what I believe is going to happen with the 2/3 world split, is when we split, when we ascend, when the Earth splits off, the dimensions split off, and these timelines fully split off from each other. It's going to be just like people faded out of existence to each other. All right, we're going to remember on a soul level. And I think those of us in the higher vibrations will remember, but I don't think those in a lower vibration will, in their current state of being. Obviously, the soul always remembers, right? This is only during the time of incarnation, right? So it's going to be really interesting. And I always go back to that when they talk about the energies of the rapture. I think it's so fascinating because I'm like, it's a little disconnected, right? It's a little jarbled. And there's all of that religious programming built in there of like the faithful ones and all of that, whatever. But this idea of people just dropping away is really, I mean, that's kind of the what it's going to be like. And we're already experiencing that to a certain extent. And so it's loving everybody for where they're at and just knowing that it's okay that we're not on the same frequency at the moment. We don't want to drop our frequency down to match them. So I was just reading, and I highly recommend this book to anybody who's new to any of this, or even if you're not and you haven't read it yet. Rising Phoenix Aurora, she just put out what is the name of it? The Galactic History of the Multiverse. It's book 2. The title is something, I don't know if I'm quoting the first title or the second title. They're very similar titles. But it's a compilation of different aura past life regressions. This is a modality that I practice that I learned from her. And she's written a couple books on this at this time. And she talks about what happens When we try to force ourselves to connect with somebody who's on a completely different bandwidth and at a completely different density than us, our toroidosphere, which is essentially the entirety of our energy system, right, has to take on extra density in order to match their level of frequency so that we're able to connect with them. And then after we're done having that interaction, we have to crystallize our energy once more. We have to build up our energy field to where it was before. And that takes a lot of energy. That takes a lot of effort. It can be really exhausting. And so it's much easier to just remain at our high frequency and allow people to come and meet us where we're at when they are ready. And it's not always easy. I mean, it is easier said than done, right? And it can be painful. And I saw somebody comment on here about feeling or being very alone. And so I want to say, first of all, welcome. You're not alone here. This is why we have this tribe, so that we can all connect together, right? Because it can be a very lonely journey. Hello, Amber, by the way. Hello, Tommy. Hello, Dee. Yeah, it can be very, and there's a lot of heavy energy, right? There's a lot of heavy energies right now. This is why we come here, to support each other, to connect with each other. And there is a Facebook group. I would love to see people get more active in it. I just posted a couple things in there to try to sort of kick off some talks again. I designed that for everyone to be able to connect. And in the future, I will have a membership as well. We have a small membership on Patreon currently where we do live calls every other week. But I'm in the process, and it's all a process. You know what I mean? Especially this. I'm a Taurus, right? Mars and Capricorn. It's slow and steady wins the race. But eventually I will have a really beautiful, detailed membership to offer everybody, where we can connect much more personally and really delve into these energies. So look out for that. If any of you want to join the live calls on Patreon, you're welcome to do that as well. In the meantime, as this is all building, it's all about having patience with ourselves, and everything happens in perfect divine timing, right? We know that, and we have to trust in that. Let's see. All right. But yeah, you're never alone here. You're never alone here. All right. Just tap into that. Feel that for a minute. Tap into that beautiful frequency as we all connect our energy here. As we all lift each other up. When we do these live calls, this is an opportunity for us to receive healing through each other, to receive activation through each other, to recharge each other, because that's what happens when our energies come together. I can feel that like chills. It's like hot chills coming through, if that makes any sense. I love you all so much. And I love seeing all the love in the chat too, and the love that everybody has for each other. It's just so beautiful. It's so incredibly beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Joni says her main support is the spirit team. Absolutely. That's what they're there for. They are there to support us and guide us and to remind us that we are never alone. Right? All right. Getting back to the energies here. So, Sun entering Leo. That playful, charismatic energy, self-expression, exploring our world. And then on the 25th, we have Mercury entering the sign of Virgo. Mercury is going to go retrograde during Leo season. He's going to hit 4 degrees of Virgo, and then he is going to station retrograde and begin moving in that retrograde motion, which means that he appears to be moving backwards in the sky. And so whenever a planet is in retrograde, and an interesting thing about the connection with Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune that we mentioned briefly, that we're going to go into more detail with in the future, is that they're all going to be retrograde as well. So this is a time of introspection. It's a time when the energy slows down, where we're being asked to go within. We're being asked to reconsider things, to look at things, to examine them from a different viewpoint, from a different angle. Mercury retrograde is really the template that helps us to understand all of the planetary retrogrades. We can think of this as a time where, if we are primarily right-brained, we actually express more and think more with the left brain. Whereas if we are primarily left-brained, we think more with the right brain. And those who are born with a natal Mercury retrograde in their charts will probably feel more comfortable when Mercury is in retrograde. So it gets a bad rap. Everybody blames because it can. Mercury rules, you know, communications, it rules technology. Uranus, the higher octave of Mercury, rules like cutting edge new technology. Mercury rules the established technology and communications. And so it can be a time where we're more likely to put our foot in our mouths, to misspeak, to have miscommunications. Technology can malfunction. Mercury also rules travel, especially short distance travel. So we can have some of those snafus as well. But people look at that and they don't look at the beautiful opportunity. It's a time of integration when our mental processes switch gears and we're able to integrate everything that we've learned and get a deeper perspective. It is absolutely time to chill. And so it can be really uncomfortable when we have a Mercury retrograde in something like Leo season, because Leo is fixed fire. Leo is burn, baby, burn. And it does not necessarily, I mean, it is fixed, right? So I guess it can sometimes like that slow burn, but Leo energy is also very energetic and it likes to get things done. It likes to be seen. It likes to be out there. So it's not maybe as painful as when we have a Mercury retrograde in Aries, but it still can be a bit uncomfortable because people don't necessarily want to slow down, but that's what these energies are asking us to do. These energies moving towards and into the Lionsgate portal this year, we're receiving so much that we have to slow down. I'll tell you guys, yesterday, and I work nights on the weekends. I have a job as a bartender on the weekends, and then I do all of the other beautiful stuff that I do with all of you during the week. And so I'm usually pretty tired by the time Sunday comes anyway. But this Sunday, I slept pretty much the whole day. I woke up for like 4 hours, maybe, something like that. And then when my son went down for a nap, I went down for a nap with him. And I slept until 7 p.m. after I went down for a nap. And he actually slept until 8:30. Like, he was feeling it too. You know, it's just, if we need the rest and we can take the rest, take the rest. It's okay. All right. The rules of time and space are changing, especially as we exist within the fourth dimension where time is much more fluid. The fourth dimension is the dimension of time, and we can play with it more. We're going to continue to learn how to play with time. It's not going to function the same way as we move through this ascension process. So I think one of the biggest things, especially for starseeds and those of us who came here knowing that we had a mission, is like, we get worried that we're wasting time. We get worried that time is running out, right? Like, we're always trying to beat the clock. There's plenty of time. Everything happens in perfect divine time, right? We cannot rush anything. So when we need to slow down, allow ourselves to slow down. Think about, do you know that person who takes their sweet time doing everything? And I used to work with somebody like this when I was a waitress. And she was like the classic, I loved her so much. She was like your classic kind of, like, I don't even think she smoked that much weed, but she had that classic stoner kind of energy to her. She talked slow, she walked slow. And I would always look at her like, how is she taking care of all these tables? Like, how is she not completely in the weeds right now? Like, I do not understand how she functions like this, because I was very much in my like go, go, go energy. You know, like rushing around doing a million things at once when I was waiting tables. And but she got the job done, right? She was successful at what she did. It's really fascinating. Like, play with this energy sometimes. When you have a million things to do, instead of trying to speed up, slow down and see what happens. See how much more you can actually accomplish. It's pretty wild. Oh, thank you, Amber. Thank you, beautiful. Let's see. And hello, Pete. I saw you hop in there. We love you so much. Appreciate you here with us always. So, yeah. Before we get into that, we have one more energy here to talk about. Although so let's go with the trajectory of this energy. All right, we're moving toward the Lionsgate and all of that. We'll talk about the Chiron retrograde in a second, because that is also going to be going on during Leo season. But as we're working through, so Mercury is moving into Virgo, and Mercury is actually going to have a conjunction. Let me look at this. Who is Mercury conjunct? I just wrote out all these dates this morning. A conjunction with Venus in the sign of Virgo. And this is happening on the 7th. So the day before the 8/8 portal. And the way I was feeling this is this is very much a purification. Remember, Virgo represents the energy of the virgin, but this is in the energy of purity. And this doesn't necessarily mean sexual purity. Actually, Virgos have quite the reputation for being quite frisky when it comes to that. This has to do with the purity of the soul, the purity of the being, that desire to refine oneself. All right, Virgo also originally means self-possessed. So it is somebody in full possession of themselves and their energy. But it is, so it's this beautiful purification of the heart center. Venus, very much connected to the heart, connected to love, connected to the ways that we express our feminine desire nature, right? So there's this opening up and purification of the heart chakra that happens. And it's a heart-mind coherence, a balancing and a purification of the heart and the mind with Venus and Mercury meeting here in the sign of Virgo. Very, very powerful as we move into the pinnacle of the 8-8 portal the next day. And the reason that I say the pinnacle is because the 8-8 portal actually opens on July 26th, which is the Galactic New Year. And in the past, we used to go by the galactic calendar, and I actually did daily readings for quite some time, where I read the energies and we talked about the tribe and the tone of the day, the galactic signature of the day. And then we pulled some cards. It was really fun. I really, really loved that when we were doing that. Some of the old school tribe members on here will remember that. And I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to order a galactic calendar for 2020. I almost said 2026, 2025, and 2026 probably, so that we can tap into that, because there's their own portal dates connected with these. There's 20 solar tribes, and there are 13 tones of creation. And these blend together to create different galactic signatures. And it can be really funny. I think or fun, maybe funny. I think there's still a link in the description box where you can check out and find out your own personal galactic signature. So my galactic signature is the blue lunar storm, and that was actually the energy for 2020 from July 2020 on, was the blue lunar storm year. Whatever day, whatever tribe and tone or galactic signature July 26 falls on defines the next galactic year. And the galactic year goes until July 24th. Then there's a day out of time, which is like the reset on July 25th. And then on July 26th, we have the Galactic New Year. And the Galactic New Year, as we said, coincides with the beginning of the Lionsgate portal. And this all has to do with the heliocentric rising of the star Sirius. And the Sirian gateway, for those who are new here, occurs when the sun passes through and over the star Sirius. And so this happens at the beginning of June. Or July rather, sorry, at the beginning of July with that 7-7 portal, the 7-7 portal and the Sirian gateway. It's all within that first week of July. It's a very powerful time. And that really begins to set the stage, because the Lionsgate energies are connected also with the star Sirius. And we see during the Lionsgate, the star Sirius rising and aligning with the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built to align with this star and this rising of these energies. It's a very, very powerful time, galactically speaking. And as we said, it's going to be even more powerful this year because it is an 8-year. So that portal opens with the Galactic New Year on the 26th of July. And this current Galactic New, or the Galactic New Year that we're going to be entering into, is the Blue Rhythmic Storm. And I do have notes here because this is a lot of information that we're going over today. All right. So the Blue Lunar Storm was 2020. And now we're moving into the Blue Rhythmic Storm with 2024 into 2025. And this is really beautiful because the rhythmic tone brings in an energy of balance, an energy of harmony, and equality. So it's really like a stabilizing force to the catalyzing energies that came through in 2020 into 2021. The blue storm energy in and of itself is about catalyzing. It's about activating and awakening. This energy represents the activation of the light body. It represents our ability to become the storm, right? To operate from the eye of the storm and become the storm by being the catalyst for our own change and the changes that we want to see in the world. It's a very powerful energy. It's a very dynamic force. And the rhythmic tone really brings a soothing energy into this. The rhythmic tone is the 6th tone, which is the number that represents ascension. All right, so how beautiful that we have that 6th tone, the tone of ascension coming in with this galactic new year. I love that energy for us, and I love everything that that represents. It also represents bringing heaven to earth, which is, of course, what ascension is all about. So it's just really, really gorgeous how we're going to be working with this energy. There is going to be another wave of catalyzing and awakening going on, but we're going to be utilizing that energy to bring ourselves into balance and to bring this creation into balance. Yeah. I know, I love it. I mean, I am a blue storm myself. So of course I would love this energy, but it's really, really beautiful. It's really, it's also about understanding how we change and shift our reality through our thoughts, words, and actions, how we are the master architects of our reality and our experience. So it's a very empowering energy. Yeah. I love that, Keto, and welcome, by the way. Yeah, we have to, right? We're going to be in the storm, you guys. We really, truly are. I'm going to be doing a live stream. I'm going to be doing my first live stream on Rumble, starting out pretty soon here. We're going to be talking about some very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Activating topics, I guess you could say. It could be a very triggering live stream for some people, and I want to do it somewhere where we know that the energy is not going to be interrupted, and I can say whatever I want to say without worrying about censorship. And also, you know, like catering to the sensibilities of everyone. Not everyone is ready to hear everything, all right? There are different levels of what people are ready to take in and resonate with. And so Rumble is like, those who join us on Rumble, that's where we get into like the next level of the stuff that we need to talk about here. All right. And it's going to be, like I said, very triggering for people who are not ready to hear the information. And some people may embrace being triggered. If you do, then you may want to join us. If not, then I would say just stick with this for right now, because they're very controversial topics and energies that we're going to be discussing on there. And it's always everything to be judged against our own resonance. I never share anything with anybody with the intent that I feel like you need to listen to me and what I say, right? Like I am the authority. None of us are an authority, right? We're all receiving information and downloads that is being filtered through our own biases, our own perceptions. All right. There is one ultimate truth, but there are many other truths within that one truth, many reflections of our different personal truths. All right. And for anyone to say that they know the ultimate truth is a bit foolhardy, I think, because we are only humans. And like I said, unless you are completely devoid of biases and you are completely neutral, 100% neutral towards everything and everyone, it's going to be very difficult to tap into that ultimate truth. All right. So I never try to tell people, I'm like, take everything that I say, take everything that anybody says with a grain of salt, judge it against your own inner resonance and come to your own inner truth and your own inner knowing. That's what this journey is all about. And for those who don't know what Rumble is an app similar to YouTube, but it is at this time completely 100% free speech. All right, so there's no censorship. People can share what they want to share. It's a very it's a quick growing platform, and it's honestly, I think a lot of people are going to be moving toward that, depending on what happens, depending on how much censorship continues to grow. Right. There's a lot of factors that are going to influence that and determine that, I think. So we shall see what happens. The funny thing, though, is that Rumble is owned by YouTube, by the same people that own YouTube. So there's still some sort of agenda there. You know what I mean? It's really fascinating, like why this platform allows free speech and YouTube is getting better. They're getting better. I've seen people talk about some things that were not really allowed to be talked about a couple of years ago. Okay, so YouTube is getting better again, but it's still, I mean, everyone who creates content on YouTube has to weigh like what am I going to be allowed to say and what's going to shut me down? You know, it's that kind of an energy. Nicole says she's got some great friends on Rumble. That's great. Yeah, Rumble is like the it's the Uranian version of YouTube, I think. Right? It's all about freedom and liberty, and people speak their truths, and there's people are very receptive to that there. Yeah. So it's where you go when you want to say something and you don't want to worry that you're going to get shut down or suspended or anything crazy is going to happen. Right. So we will be, I have to download some software to do the live stream on there, but I'm going to do it as a live stream, and we're going to talk about some of the energies that we're experiencing right now as the world is shifting and changing, and some of these catalyzing forces and personalities in this experience, and some of the more esoteric energies behind that. Let's see. All right. I want to see what else everybody has to say before we continue. I said hello to Keto. I love that hashtag Blue Storm 2024. Yes. Oh, I love you so much, Nicole. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for everybody who's here. Oh, you guys are amazing. Hello, Carl. All right. Okay. So moving on here. We've got the blue, I almost said blue lunar storm, the blue rhythmic storm year picking up. We got that Lionsgate portal opening on the 26th. The pinnacle of that energy is, of course, 8-8 and 888 this year. On the 4th, sort of tracing, well, not really tracing back from 8-8, but forward from the 26th, we have Venus entering the sign of Virgo. So this is in preparation for her conjunction with Mercury. Mercury retrograde in the sign of Virgo. So that's when Mercury begins his retrograde. We've been talking about the Mercury retrograde. He enters on the 25th, and then he begins his retrograde on the 4th as Venus enters Virgo. And there is a gorgeous new moon in Leo that day as well. So that new moon really opening up this energy that leads us into that Lionsgate portal. And then we have that conjunction that we were talking about on the 7th, the day before the 8-8 portal, of Mercury and Venus, purifying those energies. And Mercury will be moving back into Leo during that retrograde. Something else that's interesting to note as Mercury begins this retrograde in the sign of Virgo is that Mercury is exalted in the sign of Virgo. This means that Mercury's energy is best and most effectively channeled within the sign of Virgo, which is one of the signs that Mercury rules. So Mercury is also in dignity. Mercury rules Virgo as well as Gemini. But in Virgo, Mercury functions at his best. And that's because Gemini energy is like Mercury energy in its rawest, most untamed form, which means it can be kind of all over the place. Gemini energy is really interested in everything all at once, right? It's kind of like the ADD sort of energy sometimes. Like it can hyper focus, but a lot of times it's like, ooh, I want to learn about that, and I want to know that, and I want to talk about this, and oh, there's this. It's very curious. It's very childlike, right? And Mercury in Virgo, because Virgo is an earth sign, is much more grounded. We're much more able to focus that energy, that mental energy, on a specific task and really get things accomplished. The challenge with Mercury and Virgo is that we can become too laser focused sometimes, and we can perhaps not see and recognize. It's like we get too hyper focused on one point and we miss some other things. But Virgo energy in general is really great at recognizing energies around it. It's really great at understanding things, putting things together, recognizing patterns. It has that strategic energy of Pallas Athena, really, the asteroid Pallas Athena. So it's a really beautiful energy. It can be a very critical energy. All right, Virgo energy can be perfectionistic and it can be a bit critical. We run into that with Venus and Virgo as well. So there's Virgo energy is one of those energies that really is meant to develop that deep self-care and self-love. right? Where it embraces its imperfections. I was laughing to a lot of people about the fact that the full moon video, as I'm sure many have noticed, is a video of all the videos that I've done. I've done almost 900 videos to date. The most popular video of all the videos that I've done, right? And I'm so happy to welcome all the new tribe members that are here since finding that video. And it is, of course, a video where I completely screwed up the Pluto transit dates. So I was really laughing to myself because I was like, okay, so I can be perfectionistic and self-critical and be like, oh my God, I can't believe that's the video that everybody likes. How embarrassing. Or I can be so grateful that so many people connected with that video and the energies that we talked about. Right? And that's what I chose to do. So it was a beautiful, humbling experience of just being like, you know what? It's okay. We're going to roll with it. We're going to roll with it. The message was pure. The message was on point. It resonated. I know because it resonated, right? And the details can be corrected, right? It's not a big deal. So that's the energy of Venus and Virgo. That's the energy that we're looking for, to be able to connect in with, to say, you know what? I'm not perfect, but that's okay. I'm actually more beautiful in my imperfection. Right? So it's like embracing that aspect of us. Once again, the heart opening. But it's like we said, the purification and the opening of the heart chakra to prepare us for the downloads of our higher selves and whatever other beautiful high vibrational energies want to come in with that Lion's Gate portal. And because Mercury is going retrograde during this new moon in Leo, just days before the Lion's Gate portal, and really opening up a deeper level of that energy. It's like levels upon levels upon levels, right? So July 26th, rather. January is going to be big, you guys. I keep saying January, all right? It's going to be big. I'm going to have to look into the energies of January more. There's something going down in January. But July 26th, and then we have a deeper opening of the energies with that new moon in Leo. All right, with Venus entering Virgo, with all of what's going on there. And then we have a deeper opening of these energies when Mercury and Venus are conjunct the day before the Lion's Gate. And then it deepens even more with the Lion's Gate. And the integration of these energies is going to continue all the way through Mercury retrograde, which goes until the 28th of July. And then even throughout the shadow period, I'm feeling. And the shadow period, let me see, completes on September 11th, 9/11, which is also when we're going to have the really pure strength of that conversation or connection or alignment between Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto retrograde. All right, so that's going to be a powerful time as well, 9/11, which is interesting foreshadowing, I think, considering the histories of that date, right? It's going to be a powerful time. You guys, we're here for it. We're here for this ride, but I'm telling you, it's going to get interesting as if it was not already. This is why we really want to be selective with the timeline that we are choosing. Because when we choose it for ourselves, if enough people choose it, we choose it for the collective. The light workers are in control of the timeline right now. The archons, the dark ones, whatever you want to call them, the cabal, and if you don't know who that is, check out the AI inverted matrix and how we ascend out video. All right? In the lives, it should be in the live videos playlist. Or if you just click on lives, if you go to the channel and you click on lives, scroll down, it's not too far down there. All right. They are no longer in charge of the timeline. They lost control of the timeline, the light workers, the star seeds, the 144,000, right? We are in charge of the timeline now. So the timeline that we choose is the timeline for the collective. For the bulk of the collective, not for everyone, right? But for the bulk of the collective. This is really powerful. This is why we have to be so selective with our words, with our thoughts, with our actions, with the energies that we are aligning ourselves with the belief systems that we are aligning ourselves with, because we are the shepherds of that new timeline. Let's see. All right. Ooh, interesting. Hayel says, and beautiful name, by the way. I don't know if I pronounced that right or not. 9/11 could have happened to be the energy, to bring the energy down on that date because it's a very powerful date, right? Yeah. Yeah, there is a collective sense of mourning and sadness on 9/11 because of what happened. Was that in 2000 that happened? I remember watching it in school. And as we know, that was orchestrated, right? Some people may not know that. I know that there were some people on the full moon video who got very triggered by me saying that the election system is rigged. So yeah, these dates are chosen on purpose, right? We had that assassination attempt happen 3 days before the conjunction of Algol, Mars, and Uranus. We talked about these events that trigger these powerful changes in the world. How the last time that conjunction happened was in 1942, a turning point in World War II, on both fronts of World War II, the beginning of the Manhattan Project. Big things. They use these dates, they use these energies of these dates, and it's the same thing as how they target the chakras of the earth. They target these ley lines, they target these high energy places, and they bring down the vibration with the things that they do, the ritual sacrifice. There's so many different ways that they bring down this energy. I felt that and saw that firsthand when I went to Egypt. All right, this does happen. So that is very insightful, and I would say very, very true. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Soul What says, I got the same 9/11 download just yesterday. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, so there's some powerful astrology going on around 9/11 this year. And we, being in our collectively high vibration, we have this powerful opportunity with that trine, or that minor grand trine, mystic triangle, whatever name you want to call it, happening between Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus. There is going to be a major shift in the collective energy around that time. All right, so it's us working together to focus on the beautiful creation that we want to bring to fruition. Yeah, absolutely. Soul What? You are tapped right in. It's already won, right? We've already ascended. We're just catching up to that timeline. We're just catching up to that reality. It's already, the scales have tipped too far in that direction. Have you guys seen the solar flares? I almost shared a video about the solar activity and the crazy solar storms going on right now. It's just, they get more and more intense. Ultimately, when we get to that tipping point of energy, what the great solar flash is that everybody talks about, it's that final solar flare that comes through when we are at that collective ascension tipping point that helps to shift, to make that final shift into that energy. Right? That's what it is. We can see the energy building up to this. Elon Musk. We'll get into old Muskie on Rumble as well. There's some interesting players in this whole thing right now. And honestly, I only understand a fraction of all of this myself. I only understand what I've been shown. And I mean, I even question what I've been shown sometimes, because it's honestly, it's all so wild. But we live in the AI inverted matrix, right? Everything is, I used to call it the upside down world before I learned the term inverted matrix from a Rising Phoenix Aurora, right? Everything's the opposite of what it appears. All right, this is really the greatest show on earth, and it's the plot twists are going to continue to intensify as we move on from here, you guys. They really are. They really, really are. Oh, Cosmic Weather Girl, I love that name, by the way. Welcome, beautiful. Yeah, that's absolutely what it is. That's my feeling of it. And Pete, who is on here right now, we actually did a video together, I don't know, a couple of years ago, probably back in 2021, I want to say, about the great solar flash, and how, like, the danger with that energy is that everybody thinks of it as like this one, like, we're going to be saved on that date, right? Everything's going to be put right. And they just keep waiting for that date to come. Like, that date, that's going to be the cure-all for everything. And it is not that way, right? We have to be actively involved in this process right now. The Great Solar Flash is a series of events and energy activations that build up to that grand finale of energy. But it's not like, it's not this one moment where everything in our lives that sucks is going to be made better. It's when we get to the tipping point because we've put in the work, we've done the shadow work, we've done the healing work, we've raised our, yeah. I'll have to check that out, Soul What. I really will. I really will. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm waiting to see the aurora come back again, right? That was really cool. I cannot wait to see that again. The Earth's heart chakra opening right up. Ooh, I wonder if we're going to see that around the Lion's Gate. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be really exciting. Let's see. Yeah, Michael, definitely check that out. Definitely check that out. Check out the lives tab and you'll be able to see it. All right, so continuing on here. Continuing on. We have, all right, so the little details for the, and these should be correct. So we have the retrograde beginning of Mercury at 4 degrees of Virgo on the 4th of August, 8/4. Mercury will hit Leo again on the evening of the 14th, just before midnight, and will station at 21 degrees on August 28th in the sign of Leo, and return to 4 degrees of Virgo, which will complete the shadow period on 9/11. And the 14th, let me scroll down here to the 14th. The 14th is going to be another mystical and magical date here. All right. On the 14th, we have a conjunction of Mars and Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. Now, this is going to be a whole video all on its own because this energy is so intense and there's so much going on during this conjunction. It's not just that conjunction that we have going on. We also have, all right, we have the conjunction in a loose square to Venus and a square to Saturn. And that is going to be exacting the next day, but it's going to be within range where we're going to feel it. All right. And the moon at one point is going to be directly opposite the conjunction in the sign of Sagittarius. So this is going to be creating a grand cross between this conjunction, the moon, Saturn retrograde in Pisces, and Venus in Virgo. All right, a grand cross is when we have 4 squares, each planet squaring the next planet, creating basically like a giant, I can't make the shape with my hands, but creating a giant diamond in the sky. All right, so this is huge. A grand crosses and yods are the most intense energies. T-squares are very intense as well. T-square is basically 2 grand crosses. A grand cross is basically 2 T-squares, one going like this and one on the bottom, right? So this is enormous, this energy. It's going to be so intense. And we're going to dig deeper into this, but we're really going to need to watch ourselves on this date. There's a lot of powerful energy going if they are feeling boxed in, if they are feeling like people don't respect their ideals, respect their values, their beliefs, they're going to be very triggered. Jupiter really amplifies the energy of Mars. And in Gemini, there's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of mental energy going on here. All right, there's going to be a lot of restless energy, a lot of kinetic energy that needs to be expressed. People's thought forms are going to be bouncing all over the place. So we want to make sure that we are like really grounded and centered in our own energy. We want to take responsibility for what is triggering us. We want to really use this as an opportunity to get a deeper understanding of our own belief systems, of our own perspectives, of our own experience of the world and the way that we show up in the world. And it's going to give us a really great opportunity if we can take advantage of the positive aspects of that conjunction between Jupiter and Mars. It's gonna, there's a lot of energy there. Like if we can channel that raw kinetic energy in a positive direction, we can accomplish a lot. We can come together with like-minded people. We can brainstorm. We can have some really great ideas and really have the energy to implement those ideas. But I feel like there's going to be some truths coming out and some energies coming to the surface, and some of our deepest held belief systems being challenged. So it's going to be, like I said, intensive. We're going to do a whole video on that energy. But that is happening on the 14th of August. And that is also the day, like we said, where Mercury, in his retrograde, has re-entered the sign of Leo. All right. What else do we have going on here? Oh, there's also a square to, okay, no, then now we're going into the 18th. So the 18th, we have another high intensity astrological day. And you guys write these dates down on your calendar so that you know which days to look out for. As we're moving through here, my intention is to do a video on these big dates that we're talking about. But you know, sometimes life happens, and I'll try to keep you posted as much as possible, but you really want to keep these dates in your awareness. Yeah. Looking at this again. We're just checking out. Thank you for that donation, Amber. That was very beautiful and very appreciated. That lovely exchange of energy. All right. So on the 18th, we have the sun in Leo, conjunct Mercury retrograde, as well as the asteroid Vesta. And this Vesta represents, she's the home and the hearth, but it's like the home within ourselves and our own internal soul fire. All right, so this is really powerful to have her conjunct the sun and Mercury. So there's a powerful, once again, activation within our mental energies, connecting with those heart energies, because we are working in the sign of Leo. We have that Vesta energy as well. So we're going to be really inspired. We're going to be really fired up. We're really going to have something burning within our minds and our hearts that wants to be shared. This is happening in a sextile to Mars and Jupiter, who are still going to be within conjunction range, and a trine to Chiron, who is also sextile Mars and Jupiter. So a beautiful healing energy coming through here as well. If we can share our truth and speak our truth within integrity, right? There's a powerful healing that can occur through that process. Oh, your Jupiter's in Gemini. Oh, I love it. I love it. Live your truth. And how appropriate when we're talking about speaking our truth, right? Yeah, I love Gemini energy. My Venus and my Chiron are in Gemini, as well as my Lilith, and it's a beautiful energy. There's a lot of, between the Leo energies and the Gemini energies, like there's a lot of high intensity energy, even though we are in a retrograde period. Chiron also retrograde. We talked about that, but we were getting into the Lionsgate energies, so we didn't get too deeply into the Chiron energies. Somebody remind me if I forget. We're going to go back to that in a minute here. But on the 18th, we have this beautiful mystic triangle between Chiron, Mars, Jupiter, the Sun, Mercury, Vesta. This is a beautiful uplifting energy. It's also squaring Uranus, so there's a bit of tension there. It's really pushing us into our authenticity, pushing us deeper into our truth. And that energy is really kind of a precursor, opening us up for the full moon in Aquarius. At 27 degrees, there's that 27 degrees again, of Aquarius on the 19th. And that's an energy all its own that we're going to get into as well. It's going to be very, very intense. But it's really just activating us and like asking us to step into our greatness, to embrace the beauty of who we are and to share that fearlessly and authentically. Let's see. Oh, there's also on the 18th, while we're experiencing that powerful conjunction, there is a T-square being created by Venus in Virgo opposite Saturn in Pisces, being squared by Jupiter and Mars. All right, so that T-square, which was part of the Grand Cross energy that we were talking about earlier, that's still going to be active as we move further into the month here. Those planets, they don't move, like these energies stay active longer than just the day that they're exact, right? And they're more active as the planets are approaching each other and less active as they drift away from each other. But we continue to feel them. I don't have a house in Gemini. So when you say 6 houses in Jupiter, so you have 6 houses in Sagittarius? Or not 6 houses. Your 6th house is ruled by Sagittarius? Yeah, there's no way nobody could have 6 houses. I don't know. So you got a lot of that Jupiterian energy is what you're saying. You connect with that Jupiterian energy and you connect with that Gemini energy. So this is going to be powerful for you. Because you have such a deep, deep connection with those energies. Jupiter and Gemini, I could have done a video. There's just so many things going on. It's so hard to do videos on everything, right? But that's a beautiful, powerful energy. Jupiter and Gemini really opening us up, expanding our minds, expanding our connections, expanding so many ways that we see and relate to the world. A lot of great time for learning, a great time to receive blessings around that, as well as whatever you have going on within your Gemini houses or a house within your chart. Some people have some, you can have two houses in one sign. Usually you would have one sign per house, or at least on the cusp of the house. Hello, Heather. Welcome. All right, so continuing on here. A lot of deep healing in our ability to value ourselves, right? To live in integrity with our hearts and our souls as we move through that full moon in Aquarius. And then on the 22nd, we will have the sun entering Virgo. And what I found interesting about the 22nd and the beginning of Virgo season is when the sun enters Virgo, it's actually going to be the focal point of a yod with Pluto and Neptune. So this is when we have a quincunx or an inconjunct being made by Pluto to the sun as well as Neptune to the sun. And Pluto and Neptune are sextile each other. So a yod is a sextile on the bottom and two inconjuncts that come and they form a very thin triangle. This is known oftentimes as, I call it the finger of God, because for any of us who have a yod in our charts, it quite literally sometimes feels like God is giving you the finger, because it's a point of fate and destiny. You feel pulled in a direction. You literally cannot do anything about it. You have to address this energy. Your soul came here to do this, and it's going to be extremely uncomfortable because you have two inconjuncts, which are energies that just cannot reconcile. There's a lot of tension. All right, but that tension is what pushes us into action. So very destined and fated events continuing to transpire as we move through Leo season and into Virgo season. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, can you like the video by just tapping on the screen now? Like on TikTok video or something? If you can, that's awesome. And definitely, if anyone hasn't hit that like button yet, please go ahead and do so, as Pete is so beautifully suggesting. All right, so we got through the energies, you guys. And I feel like, oh yeah, Chiron retrograde, going back to that on the 26th. Oh, so on the Galactic New Year. On the 26th, Chiron goes retrograde in the sign of Aries, and Chiron is going to be retrograde until December 30th. He will start at 23 degrees of Aries and at 19 degrees of Aries. And then the shadow period will end on April 19th. Just in time to kick off Taurus season for 2025. It's 19th. It could be a couple days earlier. I was getting really exact. I think because of the snafu with the dates the other day, where I was going like 23 degrees and 32 minutes of Aries is when this Chiron station's retrograde. So I was getting exact. So it's going to be the 17th, 18th, 19th, right around there. Chiron's going to be stationed to turn, or Chiron's going to be returning to that point in the sky where he began his retrograde. So working through April of next year with that Chiron retrograde in Aries, moving through these themes of empowerment, this refining of our masculine energy and the wounds that we have surrounding our own masculine energy and how masculine energy is expressed and experienced within the collective. And this year of 2024, we've been talking about this, has been a powerful year of healing for the divine masculine. A lot of divine masculine energy waking up. And remember, we all hold divine masculine and feminine essences within us. We're not just one, although we typically have a dominant essence that we identify with more. So I feel this as those who identify as divine masculines, a lot of that aspect of the collective waking up, but also for those of us who identify as neither or identify with our divine feminine, our own masculine energy is activating and reaching a higher degree of awareness. So it's a powerful, powerful time. And I think this Chiron retrograde is really going to be fine-tuning and integrating some of those energies of these powerful awakenings of the divine masculine. I love that. Chiron trining your sun. That's beautiful. That's awareness being brought. This is healing with great awareness that's really shifting your sense of self. That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. And for those of you who have Chiron in these middle degrees of Aries, we're working with your Chiron return energy as well. I think we are going to pull some cards. We can go another 15, 20 minutes. I say that it'll probably be another hour, right? As we said the first, so I was pulling from the Astro Star Codes Oracle. And the first 3 cards that we had out were the 11th house, like we said, the Homunculi, the roots, and Pluto rebirth. So a rebirthing and regeneration around our networks, around our friends, like we were talking about, seeing the people drop out of our timeline, calling in the new people who are meant to be with us in this next version of ourselves, right? In this next leg of our journey. A rebirthing, a shifting and changing around the home as well. I'm feeling this as, this is that ancestral healing that we were talking about with the full moon video, right? Pluto here. The healing of the family tree, the family line. I also feel this as the tree. So we can look at the entire universe, the entire cosmos as a tree, right? And we all have our own personal trees that represent our own soul energy. The earth herself has a tree, or it can be represented as a tree energy. And I feel like a healing and clearing of the tree, like the earth's tree, I guess would be the best way to put this. The tree of life. There's a regeneration here that's reaching all the way into the roots of the tree of life. Ooh, that's powerful. And with the Taurus card, the 2 card representing that second house energy, yeah, we have the solar calm on the bottom of the deck there that was facing a different direction. I like that for us too. So this is all about cultivating, bringing this shift as it's like the earth's tree is crystallizing. That's like the best way that I can put it here. And as her tree crystallizes, so do ours. That's really powerful. So it's about cultivating that energy. And this is also about cultivating that sense of presence and peace within ourselves. Like I was talking about when I told the story about tapping into the 5D frequencies, it was through that energy of pure presence that I was able to access that frequency. Oh yeah, absolutely, Amber. Absolutely. And welcome, beautiful. All right, clear. What else does Spirit want us to know? Yeah, so when we do aura hypnosis healings, we go all the way into the client's tree of life. And we heal the energies within the tree. We go into the tree. There's a family tree that contains the imprints and the energies of the family line, the lineage. It's just trees upon trees upon trees. There's a reason the Kabbalah features the tree of life. All right. So it's the crystallization, the healing of the earth's tree. And we're going to see this, I think, reflected in the trees, the physical trees around us as well. And isn't that so funny? When I was telling that story, it was the trees that helped me tap into the 5D energy. Ooh, that's wild, right? Looking at the trees, noticing the 5D energy alive within the trees. So we're going to really be able to see it through the trees, and we're going to be able to connect to that frequency through the trees. We're going to be able to connect to the heart of Mother Earth through the trees. And as we connect with her tree, which is now crystalline, she will be able to assist us in the crystallization of our own trees. Oh, that's beautiful, Holly. Yeah, that's like a Lionsgate energy, I think, the crystallization with the trees. with the Earth's tree of life. We have the 6th house sustainability. That's that Virgo energy coming through. This is about us being able to sustain that 5D connection more powerfully. This is about us being able to sustain the frequencies, to hold our frequency. Hello, Tara. Welcome. Especially with the Pisces card coming out here, 12th house energy. And the 6th house is actually a 44 card, so I love that. I've been seeing a lot of 4s lately. And we talked about this around the 4-4 portal, right? And that connection, how that was a precursor opening us up for these 8-8 energies, right? The 4 doubled is the 8. 4-4, 8-8. Yeah, so being able to, it's also, I'm feeling like with the Pisces card here, it's this energy of, yes, this is opening up our psychic senses, but it's also helping us to create better boundaries around our own energy, where we're not just sponges taking in all the energies around us. We're able to, like, when our psychic senses start opening up, sometimes it's really overwhelming because we're so much more sensitive. We're sensitive to more sensitive to the environment, right? We're sensitive to other people's frequencies. We are sensitive to everything. And so it can be very overwhelming. And there's like a balancing out of that energy that I'm feeling for people, which is going to allow us to sustain our connection, our psychic connection more. Because a lot of times what happens is we begin getting activated and then we get so sensitive and then we want to shut it down because we're like, I can't handle this. This is too much, right? So as we stabilize that, we're able to connect in more and stay connected. And working with the trees is going to help us to ground that energy as well. And anybody who's struggling with this, with these frequencies and energies and the intensity of this, the Belvespita healing that I do, the angel healing that I do, is really helpful for integrating these 5D energies. And of course, the raw Reiki, I can't say enough for that, as well as the aura hypnosis healing. But even just a simple Belvespita session can be really powerful to assist with this. People really being able to sustain that connection, and so receiving more downloads, being able to process them more consciously. Because we receive downloads all day long. We just don't always fully process what we're receiving. Right? It comes through on a subconscious, a superconscious level, and it doesn't always trickle into the consciousness. It's going to be trickling into the consciousness more. And I feel like people are going to be struggling to find a way to share, because a lot of times these downloads, they come as fully formed ideas or concepts, but they're not in words. And then we have to put them into words. And so it's like some people, it's like you're going to have a journey figuring out, how do I do that? How do I put into words the things that I'm feeling, the things that I'm sensing? Automatic writing, that's the best recommendation I can give. Just start writing. Don't let yourself stop. Just a continuous flow until you bypass the conscious mind. And when we do, I'm still putting together the Master Your Mind Challenge. When we do that, I do believe we're going to do an automatic writing exercise in that. Yeah. Absolutely. Better boundaries. Absolutely. You guys are awesome. All right. So there's that. What else are we feeling with this? I want to see if there's anything else. It's the aligning of the entire chakra system. The aligning and balancing. And we talked about this. Some people should check out the video we did on the 144,000. We talked about the Ida, the Pingala, the Sushumna, the activation as we bring through the energy through all the subtle channels, the nadis. And what happens is we activate that energy and it moves up the spine. I feel like Kundalini and awakenings and activations, really powerful activations of the chakra system for people as well. So if you are struggling, if you are being activated in this way and it's very intense, work with the trees, work with nature to ground your energy. Yeah. Yep. Messages and downloads coming through like an atomic bomb. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Write them down. Write them down, record them. All right. Even if you don't know why, if you don't know what you're going to do with them yet, just write them down and trust that you will figure it out in perfect time. We have the Capricorn energy, 10th house right there. Of course. Working through those, completing those Capricorn themes all the way through November. But like we said, there's something with January. So even though that date was wrong, there's something with the January energies here where that's related. Oh, yeah, Michael, I remember you commenting on that video saying that. That's so funny. As I was talking about that, I was thinking of who had left that comment. I was like, somebody commented on that recently too, having that Kundalini awakening. Yeah. Yes, yes. Oh, thank you, Live Your Truth. Yes, I am not particularly well versed on the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is very fascinating, and that has been one of my things that I have wanted to research in more depth, because there is so much, like everything really is encoded within that. And there's a powerful connection between the Kabbalah and the tarot as well. And so understanding the Kabbalah helps you to understand the tarot, because there's a lot of symbolism woven into the tarot as well. It's really fascinating how it all connects. But yeah, the Kabbalah is very powerful, being able to understand. And do you talk about the Kabbalah? It says Live Your Truth TV. Do you talk about the Kabbalah on you have a channel where you talk about stuff like that? If you do, I mean, that would be great. I think we could all stand to learn more and understand more about those energies, because there's a lot of wisdom and a lot of truth and a lot of universal truth within those teachings. It's a lot, but it's powerful. Yeah. Yeah. Right? It always is, right? The more this process of stepping more and more deeply into our power, it is intense, right? It is intense. But it's what we came here to do. Capricorn, Pluto, right? We have the Cancer energy. So there's that Cancer Capricorn axis that we talked about in the full moon video. What I'm feeling for people is your ability to achieve is strongly tied into your emotions. Working with your emotions, learning how to harmonize with your emotions. And that unlocks the intuition to a higher level as well. Some people who've recently found this channel are just starting to work with the phases of the moon. That's really powerful in activating and opening the intuition as well. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of people who really, and I used to be like this. They, like, if they haven't had a Kundalini awakening, or they haven't had some of these different psychic activations and awakenings, like, they get very angry and frustrated. Like, why hasn't that happened to me yet? Everything happens in perfect divine time. Trust me, I have seen what happens to people who open up psychically too fast. And it can be tragic, the things that happen. That energy, I have had a very gradual awakening of my intuitive abilities. And I was really frustrated with it at the time, because I wanted to, like, hit the ground running, right? But after seeing what people have gone through, seeing people literally lose their lives over the intensity of opening up too fast, like, I'm grateful for the slowness of my journey. All right, so wherever you're at right now, it's the perfect place for you to be. Know and trust that everything will unfold in divine timing. And that includes our psychic senses and perceptions. My psychic senses also didn't really start evolving until I started doing something with them to serve the collective. It was like I wanted them. I was just, like the analogy I always use is I was basically just like sitting around on my couch, and I'm like, I just wanted my psychic I wanted my psychic gifts to develop, mostly for the ego's sake. And so that, like, I could just connect with my guides and they could tell me what to do, right? I was really trying to give my power away in that way. And that's another reason it didn't happen. Then I decided that I wanted to serve the collective. And when I started doing that, that's when things started opening up for me. But it happened very gradually. And like I said, I'm very grateful for that. Varisha, yeah, that's a beautiful way as well. She said she had a spontaneous awakening and then it became a gradual process. Yeah, so you got that initial burst and then it was slow and steady, right? And that is ideal. That's what we want, really. Hello, Sky. Ooh, Cape Town, South Africa in the house. I love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's been so slow. There were times where I doubted. I didn't even think anything was happening, right? But now it's like it continues to evolve at the perfect speed, and I'm so grateful for that. And sometimes I will still shut it down. You know, I've had times where I started hearing like the clairaudience started picking up, and I shut it down because there's still fears around that. I think some of those fears come from past lives of being institutionalized, right? That fear of like, what is that line between like actual mental illness and, you know what I mean? Like it can be scary sometimes. It can. So there's parts of it that I think will continue to open up as I continue to invite them. But my clairsenses operate mostly through claircognizance, which is just the knowings that come through. And I prefer it that way. I do. I thought that I wanted to be clairaudient, and now I'm like, you know, I kind of don't like that, like auditorially hearing voices talking to me. It kind of freaks me out, you know, like there may come a point in the future where I'm cool with that. But right now I'm like, no, just drop the knowledge into my mind and like, we'll go from there, right? I don't need to hear you. I can hear you here, right? So it's all the way it is. Everything develops differently for different people in different time. Yeah. And if any of you want to really work on that and cultivating that safely and sacredly, there's a link to apply and fill out a questionnaire for the one-on-one coaching, and that is one of the things that I coach people on. So let me know. All right, what else do we want to do? We got Neptune vision there. A lot of psychic activations and energies here, but it's your emotions and using them to tap deeper into your psychic abilities, to tap deeper into your heart. That's what's going to help. It's like some people, and I know I'm speaking to myself here just as much as anybody else, being a 22 degrees Cancer rising. Some of us, it's like we've been so uncomfortable with our emotional selves that we put that energy on the back burner. And and I know some people, it's like, especially if we've avoided our emotions for such a long time, where it's almost like we're afraid to open that up because we think the floodgates are going to open and it's just going to explode, right? And all of that emotion is going to come out of us at once. And we don't have to fear our emotions. And this is a process that I've worked with myself for years to learn how to not fear my emotions. And it's so funny because every time people give me an astrology reading or different things like that, they go on and on about how emotional I am and the power of my emotions and the connection to my emotions. And I'm always like, okay, can we, what else do you see? Like, let's not go there. Let's not talk about that. Like, I don't want to hear that that's where my power is, you know, because it's like, there was a long time ago where I decided which emotions were okay and which ones were not okay. Like, it's that my moon's in Virgo, right? What is productive? What is not productive? And the ones that I felt were not productive or the ones that I judged, right? I pushed to the side. And so it's about owning all of those aspects of ourselves, owning and celebrating the beauty of our emotional nature, right? Because that's our divine feminine energy. All right? It's embracing that. And the divine feminine has been taught to be ashamed of our emotional energy, right? That's why they say women can't be in positions of power. Oh, they get too emotional. Oh, they'd have PMS and they burn down the world. Probably not, right? If we burn down something during PMS, it's because it had it coming. You know what I mean? Overall, I think women tend to be rather level-headed, right? But we do need that masculine. We need everything to balance us out. The feminine needs the masculine needs the feminine. It's all about that balance of energies. They're meant to be complementary. They're meant to exist together, okay? One cannot function properly without the other. Neither is better than the other. And both need to own their energies and the way their energies express, right? We need to own our divine feminine energy and the fact that does express as emotion. That's part of what makes the feminine so fierce, right? That's part of what makes her so beautiful is that ability to feel and to express that the beauty of that emotion. The ability to love deeply. It's not a handicap. Our emotions are only out of control like that typically when we have been suppressing them. That's that energy, that fear that I was just talking about, of being afraid to open up the floodgates. Those floodgates will open, probably at the most inopportune time. If we learn how to harmonize with our emotions, we don't have to worry about that happening because we feel them and we process them as they come. We are, man. I was laughing about this with somebody the other day. I was talking about, and I do believe that this new wave of children coming through, the divine feminine essence is incarnated in masculine bodies and vice versa to help balance out the energies. I do strongly feel that. But I also strongly feel that like the nature of children, because this is my first experience with children. I was never really, my energy never aligned with children before I had my son. I was the one that nobody ever asked to watch their kids or even hold their babies. Like I was just not into it. It wasn't my thing. I used to always joke that I preferred adults with all of their neuroses and all of their, mental issues and all of that stuff. I always felt like I was meant to be a mother, like to the earth, to humanity, but not necessarily to an individual, a child or whatever. So I didn't really spend much time around children at all. That's why this journey as being a parent has been so radically different for me and life altering, because I had no idea what I'm doing. I never changed a diaper, never, I don't know the developmental milestones. I don't know anything. I'm learning all of this as I go. And, but I have talked to people who have children, who have had children before this next wave, and they kind of say the same thing too. A lot of parents say having boys is easier because little boys tend to be like, yes, they want to smash things and they want to, they have all that energy, right? But like, they tend to be more gentle and softer and more gentle. And little girls tend to be the ones that are the most fierce and fiery and willful. And it's so fascinating, right? Because, and my friend Tommy and I were talking about this the other day, how society has conditioned us to really go against, like, if we look at that as the way the child displays the energy as like the true nature, then we see how society twists that, right? The little boys are naturally more gentle and easygoing, and we condition them to be hard, right? And we condition them to not have emotion and to be cold and distant. And then the little girls, the females, they're the ones that are full of the fire, right? They are fire and feistiness, and there are sheer willpower, and they really give the parents a run for their money. You know what I mean? Like little girls are intense. And then we treat them to be we teach them to be docile. We teach them to smile and not speak. We teach them to be good wives and good mothers and not rock the boat, when the feminine energy is the one that is here to catalyze. The masculine energy is here to hold the container for the feminine's fierceness, right? It's so different and opposite. And I always smile when I see these little girls, these wild girls. I'm like, the world needs more wild women. But at the same time, I'm grateful that I had a son, because he is like a little Buddha. You know what I mean? He is the sweetest. He will smash and crash things. He is all about that. He loves some of the stereotypical things that little boys love, but his heart is pure and gentle. And he is so easygoing, So it's like, I respect and I am so grateful for that beautiful feminine energy out there in the world, but I'm glad that, I don't have to get into that battle of wills myself. I'm sure I'll have some with my son, it's not like boys are just like chill all the time. They have their moments too. You know what I mean? All children rebel, right? It's in our nature to push boundaries. But, everyone that I hear, all the boy moms, as we call ourselves, say that little boys are so much easier. And so it's just a whole different energy. So it's like we're breaking out of those gender roles. We're no longer trying to force children to conform to a standard that goes against their nature. And it's so beautiful. And I think that in and of itself is really going to bring the balance back. You know what I mean? So another little tangent there. Yeah, I used to, even when I was pregnant with him, I used to call him my Buddha baby because I could just sense his energy. I love how it's 33 right now, which is the number of the Ascended Masters. Buddha being one of the ascended masters. We have 33 people watching. So that's a nice little synchronicity there. Clear. Every time I comment on that, it changes. Now 3 people signed off. All right, one last card here. 8th house mystery. There we go. There's the Pluto house. Time and authority. Right, so the authority, this is like the initiation into the mystery teachings. The initiation, moving through the shadows of the Plutonic energies, the 8th house energies, to come into a deeper state of authority within ourselves. Excuse me. Your life path 33. That's powerful. Oh, it was 11/11 in Hawaii, as I mentioned, 33. I love that. Beautiful. And we'll do more readings. We'll pull more cards in the future. Clear. I need to get going. I need to go decompress a little bit. Go connect with my trees. Have some dinner. Why, thank you, I'm just naturally this sweet. It is what it is. Sugar and spice and everything nice, right? Isn't that? Oh, wait, we just proved that theory, didn't we? First house arrival is our final card that wanted to pop out there. And Pinnacle, midheaven. This is and ascent, which is the ascendant. Or no, it is the ascendant, but I read it as ascent. All right. So we are really climbing. This is like powerful achievements. This is aligning with that highest timeline. All right. This is a great closing energy here. This is what August and this Lionsgate and all of this energy is all about. It's bringing us individually into that highest timeline. And then as we close out 2024, we are going to bring the collective into that energy. It starts with us and then it ripples out to the collective. That's it. That sums up all of the energies here for this Leo season right there. And then moving through into the fall. Integrate those shadows exactly. Birth time survival is the last card. Oh, arrival. Arrival. But yes, survival. Moving from surviving to thriving, right? Aw, Joni. Well, this is probably, if you have a husband, this is probably not going to go over very well with him. But men tend to produce one gender primarily. The man is the deciding factor for the gender of the baby. So I joke around with women a lot. If they've had a bunch of one and not the other, I say you might want to try somebody else because you're probably going to get the same gender. Sometimes some of them will mix it up, but a lot of times, like think about it. You see these families, they all have the same father and they're all boys or all girls. You see maybe one sprinkled in that's different, but you know, it's a lot of times it turns out the same. It's really fascinating how that happens. Yeah. But if you only have one, I mean, there's still, I mean, it hasn't been proven yet. You could go either way. Yes. I love you so much. I love all of you. I appreciate you infinitely. Thank you for being here with me today. Oh, yeah. I do. I hug trees. I kiss trees. I do. I love it. And I don't really care who sees or what people think about it. I love them so much. They have such beautiful energy. Yeah. My neighbors probably think I'm a lunatic. I think they think I'm all right now, but we just moved here not that long ago. So give it time. Just give it time. That's okay though. I always wanted to be like the eccentric lady in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? That's a life goal for me. So we're achieving our goals here, you guys. I love you so much. You're all amazing. And like I said, once again, I want to welcome everyone who is new. I appreciate you so much. Everyone who wants to get into the nitty gritty on Rumble, go ahead and follow me there and wait for that live stream. We're going to be doing that in the next couple weeks. I don't know exactly when, just when the energies align for it. Okay, Joni, perfect. Yes, manifest divine love with a counterpart who has the seeds to produce that boy for you. And then it would be, I think it's beautiful to have a boy and a girl, right? For people who want more than one children, I'm done. I got the one. But you know, for people who are open to having more than one children, I think it's beautiful to have that those complementary energies. Yeah. All right. I know we always take, it's like another 20 minutes saying goodbye on here. Oh, Mary, welcome. So happy to have you here. So happy. I think this is what happens, especially like when the live goes on for too long. I start completely forgetting what I was saying. I can't remember if I did another welcome round for everyone who's just finding the channel, but I meant to, and definitely for you, Mary, and everyone else who's been in the chat today who's new. We all appreciate you. This is a beautiful tribe. I hope you have felt very welcomed today, and you continue to be very welcome. So happy to see and feel the energy growing, more of us coming together and uniting as we evolve and grow and ascend together. All right. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening, everyone, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. If this is your morning, then I hope that you have like the entire day is just fantastic. And I hope every day is fantastic for us all. And it can be, right, when we tap into that frequency of presence. And we just be present in this moment. In this moment, everything is perfect. And practicing that more and more, I think that's the task for us right now. It's to really practice being centered in the moment, practice perfecting and cultivating that art of presence. I'm going to continue to do that. As we move through this, and we can observe everything from that place of presence, right? As all of this shadow material comes up within us, as all of these new awarenesses begin to crystallize, observing that from that place of pure presence and that open heart space, to really be able to integrate these energies and sort through and decide what resonates, right? Cookie's mama says, I'm Puerto Rican. These long ass goodbyes are comforting. That's beautiful. Is that a Puerto Rican thing? You guys take a long time saying goodbye. It's never really goodbye though, right? Because we always meet again. If not in this lifetime, then in another, but most likely for most of us in this lifetime. Probably a few days from now. Clear. A few days, a few weeks. Whatever all of that means, right? In our linear perception of time. We probably all get together in the astral realms anyway, right? We're probably, let's set the intention to have a party tonight in the astral realms and reconnect there. I love you guys so much. Michael, did I miss Michael? Oh, Michael, there you are. Yes. I love you all. I was thinking maybe the other Michael hopped on too. I'm sure he'll catch the replay. We have our beautiful Michael F here. I love the Michaels, right? Because every time I hear somebody named Michael, it always makes me think of Archangel Michael. I have an ex named Mike. He went by Mike though, not Michael. He definitely, if he was an emanation of Archangel Michael, he was definitely a conflicted, very conflicted version of that. God rest him. But generally speaking, when I hear the full Michael, we'll say, oh, there's a deer walking through my yard right now. It's a very normal occurrence. I live on a game sanctuary, so there's tons of deer everywhere. I just looked out the window and saw her. Oh, Dita, welcome. Dita Noir, I love it. Beautiful. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, Leo, Sun, Cap, Rising. There you go. That's powerful energy to have moving through this portal with all the energies that we've been talking about. They, like, you are getting rocked right now, Michael. Or you're about to be. Even more so, right? With the sun entering Leo. Mercury. Mercury in Leo, right now, yeah. Oh, thank you, Amber. You're all amazing. We will definitely talk in the 5D. We're there right now. We're planning things. We're just like watching ourselves down here, having these conversations and stuff, like knowing what the future holds, right? Being able to see into those timelines from our other dimensions, and just waiting for ourselves in this dimension to catch up, right? Just watching the deer. I thought that was a good omen when we moved in here. Deer and ladybugs. It's what we saw everywhere in the wintertime. And the deer are just more active in the summer. Now it's a lot of dead ladybugs because of the heat and everything. So I'm like, I mean, that's not the ideal sign or omen that you're looking for, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, Sky, you just found us today. Oh, welcome. I'm so glad that you were able to join us for the live stream too. Cancer, Sun, Leo, Rising. There we go, baby. That's my son right there. He's a Cancer, Sun, Leo, Rising too. Libra, Moon. Mars and Leo. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Yeah, that's a powerful placement for Mars right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and astrology, there's so many layers to it. And there's so much depth, and everybody interprets it differently too. Like you can have your chart read by 5 different astrologers and you'll get probably similar interpretations, but there'll be a lot that's different too, because there's so much of it that's also intuitive. Yeah. All right, you guys, I am going to let you go now. I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon.